A question was put to Abdu'l-Baha about the existing of the soul after its separation from the body. And he said, some think that the body is the substance and existed by itself, and the spirit is accidental and depends on the substance of the body. But on the contrary, the rational soul is the substance, and the body depends upon it. If the accident, which is the body, be destroyed, the substance, the spirit, remains. Secondly, the rational soul, meaning the human spirit, does not descend into the body, does not enter it. For descent and entrance are characteristics of the body, and the spirit is exempt from it. The spirit never enters the body, so when quitting it, it will not be in need of an abiding place. No, the spirit is connected with the body, like the light is in a mirror. When the mirror is clear and perfect, the light of the lamp will be apparent in it. But if the mirror becomes covered with dust or breaks, the light will disappear. Now, concerning the essence of divinity, in truth, it is of no account determined by anything apart from its own nature, said Abdu'l-Baha, and can in no wise be comprehended. For whatever is conceived by a man is a reality that hath limitation, and is not unlimited. It is circumscribed, not all-embracing. It can be comprehended by man and controlled by him. Similarly, it is certain that the perceptions of man are contingent, not absolute. They have a mental existence, not a material one. Moreover, differentiation of stages in the contingent world is an obstacle to understanding. The minerals, the plants, and the animals are bereft of the mental faculties of man that discover the realities of things. But man himself is able to comprehend all the stages beneath him. For all the superior stages comprehend the inferior, but the inferior cannot understand the superior, nor comprehend its essence. So man cannot grasp the essence of the divine being, but he can by his power of reasoning, by observation, by his intuitive faculties, by believing in God and have faith in him, is certain that though the divine reality is unseen of the eye, and the deity as intangible, yet there are conclusive spiritual proofs that assert its existence. The essence of divine being, however, is beyond all description. For instance, the nature of ether is unknown, but we are certain of its existence by the effect it produceth. Heat, light, and electricity as waves thereof. Through these waves, we are certain of the existence of the power of ether. As we observe the outpouring of divine grace, we are certain of the existence of God. As we observe the coming together of various elements give rise to the existence of beings, and their non-existence is due to the decomposition of these constituent elements. For decomposition causes this element to separate and disintegrate. As we observe the coming together of various elements give rise to the existence of beings, and we know beings are infinite, and they are of the effect, how can the cause be finite? Formation is said by Abdu'l-Baha to be of three kinds, and three kinds only: the accidental formation, necessary formation, and voluntary formation. The coming together of various elements to give rise to the existence of beings cannot be accidental. For every effect there must be a cause. They cannot be compulsory, for then the formation is an inherent property of the constituent part. An inherent property of a thing cannot be separated from the main thing itself. For instance, revealing things is an inherent property of light. Expanding element is an inherent property of heat. The solar rays are the inherent properties of the sun. Under these circumstances, decomposition of any formation is impossible, for an inherent property of a thing cannot be separated from the main thing itself. That will leave us with one formation, and that is a voluntary. An inner force which is described as the ancient power caused the coming together of various elements, and every formation gave rise to a distinct being. All these are new teachings revealed by His Holiness Baha'u'llah, peculiar to his revelation. Was never before brought to humanity in the past. Is because we had not the capacity to understand them. But now we have the capacity to understand these teachings. Hence Baha'u'llah revealed these new teachings, and He revealed a lot of it. And the fundamental principle of teaching of Baha'u'llah is the oneness of humanity. All these teachings were communicated to world leaders, first by Baha'u'llah. In 1868, he wrote to all the leaders and rulers and kings of the world at the time. From his prison in Akka in Haifa, Israel, where he was incarcerated by the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. These leaders that Baha'u'llah wrote to are Alexander II of Russia, Napoleon III of France, William II of Germany, Her Majesty Queen Victoria of England, Nasiruddin Shah of Persia, Sultan Abdul Aziz of the Ottoman Empire in Turkey, Pope Pius IX of the Vatican, President of the Great Republic of the West, that is President of the United States of America, concourse of bishops, ecclesiastical authorities and leaders of governments and religions, and much, much more. These leaders represented the whole world at the time, for some of them have sovereignties over so many countries and sections of land, like the Ottoman Empire, the British Commonwealth, to name just two. In Baha'u'llah's letter to these world leaders, he stated that the divine physician has his finger on the pulse of mankind. He perceiveth the disease, and prescribeth in his unerring wisdom the remedy. One of these diseases is religious fanaticism and hatred as a world-devouring fire, whose violence none can quench. The hand of divine power can alone deliver mankind from this desolating affliction. And for the remedy, it is for them, these world leaders, to put aside their differences and come together in unity and peace and harmony. And we could have the most great peace. Unfortunately for the world, these leaders ignore the divine physician's exhortation. And His Holiness Baha'u'llah lament their ignoring of his exhortation. And he made a pronouncement, that now you reject the most great peace. Hold on to this, the lesser peace. A lesser peace is a political peace. It's given to the leaders of governments of the world to form this peace. Baha'u'llah had a plan for the lesser peace to come about. This plan of Baha'u'llah was already communicated to world leaders by a letter from Abdu'l-Baha to a peace committee of the League of Nations in 1919. This committee was called the Committee of the Durable Peace in The Hague. In this plan of Baha'u'llah that was mentioned in Abdu'l-Baha's letter to this peace committee, he called for the establishment of a supreme tribunal. And the plan is that the national assemblies of countries and nations, that is to say the parliament, should elect 2 or 3 persons who are the choicest of that nation and are well informed concerning international laws and relation between governments, and aware of the essential need of the world of humanity these days. The number of these representatives should be in proportion to the number of the inhabitants of that country. And these elected souls who are chosen by the national assemblies, that is to say the parliament, must be confirmed by the upper house, the Congress, and the cabinet, and also by the president or the monarch. So these persons are the elected ones of all the countries and of all the governments. And the Supreme Tribunal's members are from these people. And all the world will thus have a say, a share in it. Because every one of these delegates is fully representative of his nation. And when the Supreme Tribunal gives a ruling on any international question, either unanimously or by majority rules, there will no longer be any pretext for the plaintiff or ground of objection for the defendant. In case any of the governments or nations, in the execution of irrefutable decision of the Supreme Tribunal, be negligent or dilatory, the rest of the nations will rise up against it, because all nations and governments of the world are the supporters of this Supreme Tribunal. Consider what a firm foundation this is. But by a limited and restricted league, the purpose will not be realized as it ought and should. This is the truth about that situation, which it has been stated. The Abdu'l-Baha and the Baha'i faiths have done our service by presenting the leaders of the world with a plan set out by Baha'u'llah. And it is now up to the leaders of the world to implement this master plan. I conclude with these words of Baha'u'llah regarding his laws, that I feel it speaks directly to these world leaders. Think not that we have revealed unto you a mere code of laws. Nay, rather we have unsealed the choice wine with the fingers of might and power. In this is that which the pen of revelation hath revealed. Meditate upon this, O men of insight. Thank you, and I wish you well. Whaftailava, Samoa Manuela Whafongfong mai, soifua